I've been a hat guy all my life. This hat here is my daily wear that I've pretty much worn out. It's made by a company that no longer exists, and I think if I washed it, it might just fall apart. But I have a hat that I wear for just about every season throughout the entire hunting year. And for me, a hunting year starts at spring turkey. It ends in November if all goes wrong and I don't punch my tack. And there's a reason why I wear every hat that I do. We'll start with spring turkey. Now, spring turkey, I used to wear a hat, a ball cap, a lot like this, or like what I'm wearing. But over time, I've come to go back to the ye old boonie. I wear a boonie hat. I wear a boonie hat primarily because it is a brim hat that is short enough. It's just the right size where it provides some sun protection, but also because I'm weaving in and out of brush. Sometimes I'm actually getting down on all fours and crawling through brush. So a boonie hat is what you'll typically see me wear during spring turkey these days. Mainly because wearing my summer hat, the one that I wear for scouting, is too big. And this is better than nothing as far as sun protection goes. Now, sun protection is an issue because the higher up in altitude you get, the more UV exposure you get. So if you're at like 8, 9, 10, 11,000 feet, 11,000 is on the rare end, you're averaging like anywhere between 9 and 10,000 feet. You get a lot of UV exposure. And I think back in 2018, I learned my lesson about that one where I got so desperate because I was ridge walking all day for several days that I cut up a t-shirt to stuff underneath my hat because I didn't have a brimmed hat. The back of my neck was getting burnt. My face was getting burnt. After several days of that, I wished I had a brimmed hat. And my photo mug. Just call me Alpine. So that leaves us moving to summer. Now, to arrive at the hat I typically wear was a evolution. So first, I went to a boonie. I was wearing a boonie, something like a boonie, and then I went to this outdoor research hat that I don't even think they wear anymore. I gave this one to my wife. So I was wearing this hat for a while. Good sun protection, but the problem is the wind on the ridges, it like flops this hat all over the place, and in so doing, whatever sun protection you have, it's negated. This brings up a point when it comes to summer hats, is that the material it's made out of matters. So wool, so then I went through a more stiffer brimmed hat like this one right here. All right. Now I wear this one for a little while, but the problem with this is like a tin cloth or a waxed canvas, and this traps the heat. So you get some sun protection, but it turns into an oven on your head, and the sweat just beads up and starts pouring down your face. So I think this hat is more for like, you want some sun protection, but it's colder. Maybe like a cold rain is what this is good for. I don't wear this hat very often anymore. I still wear on occasion, like maybe late spring or early fall, but I typically don't wear this hat all that much anymore. It's a good hat. I like it. Which brings me to the summertime hat that you see me wear these days more often. And this is where material matters. And cost plays into a role here. Now, they make hats like this that you can pick up, you know, like any type of Western wear store, but they're usually made out of like a wool felt. I'm not wearing wool in the summertime. Sorry, not happening. This is actually made out of rabbit fur. And it doesn't trap the heat on your head like this one does. It's stiff enough to where it's always casting a shade on your head. And it breathes. My hat, or my head, is not even hardly hot as compared to wearing this. This is hot. This is not. It looks stylish. I'll be the first to admit it looks stylish, but it brings the thought back to an era or a day when people or men were outdoors a lot more. And you can go back to, I don't know, maybe as early as the 30s or 20s or whatever, when fedoras, or, you know, in the old West where people wore brimmed hats all the time, and there was a practical reason for it. So you kind of think back when your people are outdoors a lot, that's why they wore hats like this. And that's why this is the most practical and functional piece of headgear you could wear in the summertime. I added this cord right here mainly because sometimes when there's glassing on a ridge, the wind can really whip. So having this chin cord helps. I don't use it very often. It's kind of dorky looking. But this hat is the real deal. And the hat band inside is made out of leather. And when you wear it, it's properly sized, it actually kind of locks onto the leather locks onto your forehead. Driving around on a four-wheeler in this, my hat does not come off. Okay. That's how we arrived at that hat. Moving on to so we got spring turkey, summer scouting, early archery. Or archery. I will typically wear these hats. One of these two. I have two sets of hunting camo. One that's more brown dominant and one that's more green dominant. And I wear them at different times of the year. Now, during archery, I go back to a standard ball cap because during archery, I'm not really out on the ridges a lot. I'm in the aspens, I'm in the pines. I'm not really getting that much sun exposure as I typically would when I'm out scouting. I just blew an opportunity on a spike. So I don't really need a brimmed hat for archery. Plus, just from drawing a bow, you don't have that much of a brim getting in your way. You can weave your way in and out of brush. So for archery, you'll typically see me wearing one of these two ball caps. Now, moving on to rifle. Up until 2020, the hunting regulations in my area weren't very clear as to what you had to, if you had to wear a blaze orange cap on your head or not. I think they've changed the wording a little bit, and it's a little bit more clear that you need to, but with the new influx of 2020, I stopped wearing a regular ball cap during rifle season. I'm just one of those guys, I hate wearing camo. I hate wearing blaze orange. So I begrudgingly moved to a Stormy Chromer. Now, I tell you what, after this year, I'm never going to come back to this unit again. No. No. This is like your standard, this is your stereotypical Elmer Fudd hat, almost. But I got this particular one because it has just enough blaze orange to where if I stick my head over a ridge, someone's not going to liable to mistake me for a deer and shoot me. It has just enough blaze orange here, minimum blaze orange. But now these hats have a pro and a con. pro, when it's cold, and it often is during rifle season, is that these ear flaps fold down. And it covers just the top of your ears. And that is just enough to where it keeps your ears from getting too cold in the wind, but it still allows you to hear. And I'll get more on this in a little bit. So that's the pro, is it'll keep your ears relatively warm and it allows you to hear. The con to this hat is that, like this hat, it's a waxed cotton or canvas. This was hot, as is this one. This one is fairly hot to wear. I've tried to wash out the wax in it. I shoved this thing into the washing machine and washed it a couple of times. One, to shrink it a little bit because it was too loose, but also to see if I can get some of that wax out. So maybe I can make this hat a little cooler. When it's hot, so is this hat. So there's that. All right, moving on to muzzleloader. Muzzleloader for me is later in the year. Ironically, I've waxed this one. This was just a regular canvas on the inside. And then I waxed it because I was wearing it later in the year. The wax, it shreds water and all that, makes it more wind resistant. But this is a hat I would wear late October on into December if I'm still hunting by then. Regular ball cap. Now the big draw to this hat is that it has these ear flaps that come down. And to me, this is perfectly normal. Covers your ears, keeps your ears very warm. And when you're sitting on a ridge, the wind's whipping, there's snow on the ground. We've got about a 10 mile per hour wind and a 23-degree wind chill right now. And this hat is comfy. I mean, it keeps your ears warm. The problem with that, though, is you can't hear very well because these things cover your entire ear. But it also keeps your ears warm because it covers your entire ear. So it's a give and take. Some guys will give you shit for wearing a hat like this. To me, this hat is no different than a patrol cap. I don't have one on hand, but like a BDU patrol cap that had the fold down ear flaps, same thing. That's what I liken it to. But I will still wear this hat on occasion. But I have retired it, mostly, for another Stormy Chromer. I'm adding another tag to my tag soup collection, and my tag soup collection is pretty big. Now I'm starting to switch to this hat. In retrospect, I kind of wish I got a more tan dominant one. I got this one because it's camo. I kind of wish I got one that was a little bit more tan. Maybe closer to this, because that's the color that's predominant when I normally wear this hat. I think it's a little bit too dark. But this is a hat that will keep your head warm. Late season, it will keep your ears warm and still relatively, just like this one, and still allow you to hear. Stormy Chromers, they're one of those hats where not everybody can wear them. You either look like a dork or you don't. I probably look like a dork, but I wear it anyway. All right, that's it. Hats for hunting. The whats and the whys. Have a good one.